To El Dorado we walked down, the tin town and wondrous green gown. Pahang's former boomtown, once a thriving little tin-fevered town. Minerals in opulent the earth has handed down. In 19th, the Brits stamped down. PCCL inauguration was borne down. But why the buckle down? Inasmuch as tin mine and tin town was cracked down. Thus, the Hakkas were brought down. Come by thousands and thousands to touch down. For generations, they settled down. United, the first temple, they stood on ground. In time, Tin Town ripened into a downtown, and facilities certainly gave a rub down. Curse Town, oh Tin Town, excuse me, did you smell the tumble down? Because a blazing flame burnt down the Tin Town as the people stood down and knelt down. At short, raging water in brood brown, into a muddy pool the town drowned. A deluge that knocked down, and a wash away that let down. Nonetheless, she adjusted her crown till her worth saw a drop down. When the trade's demand thinned down, PCCL couldn't gain ground. Eventually, had to shut down. Tin Town faced face down. Ever since, she's called a ghost town, just because she is a ghost town.
Zakaria bin Yusof. Saya pembantu takbir unit APK Sungai Lembing. Sungai Lembing ni adalah sebuah peninggalan Syarikat Pelombongan Biji Timah dahulu. Memang Sungai Lembing adalah tempat di mana kita punya lombong yang paling panjang dan paling dalam di dunia satu masa dahululah. Sungai Lembing adalah 44 km daripada Bandar Kuantan. Lepas 1986 tu bila lombong mula ditutup, duduk Sungai Lembing ni mengalami perubahan sosial yang tinggi lah. Maknanya diorang susah. Kerja tak ada. Mereka terpaksa kerja, ada ramai yang bekerja di luar lah. Masuk rancangan Felda. Bila lombong tutup, dia buat perjanjian dengan lawyer ke, dengan mahkamah ke. Maknanya itu barang semua sudah jadi kepunyaan kerajaan negeri. Sebab dia sudah tutup. Tapi selepas dia tutup tu, ada satu company daripada Ipoh ambil alih. Selepas 2 tahun company ni ambil alih, selepas 86 tu, dia dah handle semua mesin apa ke, memang dia orang buat keluar. Dengan dia kata dia ada surat lawyer. Kita, macam penduduk kampung memang tak puas hati lah. Sebab dia orang tak dapat pampasan kerja kan. Dia orang harapkan barang-barang tu dijual dan ditampung untuk bayar pampasan kerja untuk dia orang lah. Tapi itu tak berlaku. Okay, untuk pengetahuan, sekarang ni Sungai Lembing pun ada beribu-ribu hektar kawasan yang diusahakan untuk pelombongan. Tapi di kawasan pedalaman sikit lah. Mana bukan di tengah area bandar tu, bukan. Ada 2 tempat. Satu namanya di Maya, satu lagi namanya di Gakak. petang-petang kajian macam alam sekitar ke JS ke tengah kaji sekarang ni sebab punca banjir di Sekolah Lambe ni sebab sungai dia dah terlalu cetek. Punca dia sebab di bahagian atas hulu sungai ni ada aktiviti pelombongan dan pembalakan yang milik kaum Tionghoa. Kalau dia terbakar sekali tu perpustakaan dan bangunan kedai. Terbakar pada 31 Ogos 2018. Kejadian ni berlaku mengikut bomba. Ada satu kedai tu dia masak makanan lah untuk kenduri, untuk majlis perkahwinan anak dia, tapi dia mungkin terlelap berapa ke dia lupa nak tutup.
All right, maybe Zen, shall we play the last video before I start presenting the whole brief? Last one.
Sometimes you will never know the true value of a moment until it becomes the past. With every step we take today, we're stepping on the grounds of resilience and sacrifice, fought hard by the miners of the past. During the glory of the tin mine. But they knew that with the struggles they face today, they're developing the strength that they need tomorrow, waiting for the glorious days to be bestowed upon them. Like the light at the end of the tunnel.
很危险的工作，yang mati 2 orang, tinggal 1 orang.
到最后挖不出来就崩掉算了。
Orang ramai masa itu jam. Bila sudah merdeka je orang putih sudah cabut. Orang pun tak ada.
Waktu itu gajinya lumayan. Dari segi pakaian, segi makanan. Apa-apa jenis barang pun kita boleh beli.
我们见证了整个古时的兴和衰，就把这些他们以前的这种历史的那种文物，把它全部都记录下来。
Saya suka remeh. Saya banyak baik. Ada orang kacau.
Audrey Hepburn once said, "Living is like tearing through a museum. Not until later do you really start absorbing what you saw, thinking about it, looking it up in a book, and remembering, because you can't take it in all at once."
Right. Okay, thank you, Zain, for the videos. All right. Hello and assalamualaikum to fellow colleagues and external panelists. Welcome to Unit F Studio Review. Selamat Hari Raya and thank you for joining our crit session today. It's a bit lagging, so bear with me. So in Unit F, we have 6 tutors, Architect Norizan, Ashran, Taufiq, Architect Hisham, Architect Zul and myself. Our studio's direction is focuses on narrative architecture, which is a research-based methodology where we encourage students to have in-depth studies on particular issues and programming with a good sense of place. For this semester, our brief is about revisiting industrial heritage. Last year, we learned about Kinta Valley, Perak. So now we are moving further towards the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, where one of the longest and deepest underground mine in the world is located, as you saw in the video just now. So it is also known as El Dorado of the East, or the Golden One, the Lost City of Gold. The small town of Sungai Lembing, Pahang, is known for its significant economical contribution when it became the epicenter for tin mining under a British company called Pahang Consolidated Company Limited, or PCCL, which was registered on July 6, 1906. And they basically had a 120-year lease to mine the area. So we want students to question the importance of preserving such industrial heritage as historical monuments that symbolizes the local history and also its past culture. As usual, students will formulate their conceptual design project that are based on the preset themes in Unit F as follows. So they may cover 1 or 2 themes at one time. The first theme talks about resilience architecture, disaster and flash flood. So since the 1980s, Sungai Lembing area have experienced rapid and constant change of land use, such as mass-scale agricultural developments, which resulted in annual flash flood. So the site is prone to floods and often described as an indicator of the flood situation in Kuantan, which is the state capital, during the monsoon season. Flooding is an environmental issue that often leads to social, financial and also economical difficulties faced annually by the people of Sungai Lembing since the late 90s. And as depicted by the drawings of Sim Janwen, semester 6 student, he questions on how architecture can be designed to be more resilient to mitigate flood impacts and help the local community and old folks to cope with the forces of nature. And theme number 2 talks about social culture and community empowerment to study on the existing cultural infrastructure that form the collage city of Sungai Lembing due to the diversity of the mining workers. The existing cultural infrastructure and material cultures such as school, clinics, shops, police station, mining facilities, padang or open fields that were built during the British era have helped to define the social culture of the place. So what is the significance of site elements and the materials that make up the suburban fabric of Sungai Lembing? Under theme 2, this student Chang Chon Yen researched on how to create an architectural design that preserves the tangible heritage of the site, empowers the local community and synchronously celebrates cultural tourism of the old mining town by analysing heritage elements of Sungai Lembing shop houses. And the last theme is theme number 3, which talks about the aesthetics of industrial engineering, where they might study on the significance of industrial mining aesthetic as local identity. After PCCL ceased operation, the factory monuments and relics were left abandoned, so they are considered as lost gems right now. One of the idea in celebrating theme number 3 is to rejuvenate the site by adopting technology-driven program in tandem with Industrial Revolution 4. In this proposal, student Ko Jing Xiang ideas is that visual heritage in VR mode and mixed reality to coexist, merge and interact in real time. This might show the past mining cultural presence and the on-site reconstructions of the factory ruins. The surviving facilities and machines used in the mining industry and the mining township itself should be protected to promote cultural heritage. Therefore, he hopes that with this virtual heritage idea might attract younger generations to appreciate historical monuments and maybe learn about the rich mining industrial past. For the site study, there are two options that the students can select to formulate their research topic, conceptual narrative and the final design proposal. This is site A, the burned down historical shop house, and site B is the underground tin mining PCCL factory. So the site A is a shop house. On the 31st of August 2019, there was a great fire that burned several century-old buildings that include 20 shop houses, 11 terrace houses, and a library, destroying history and the way of life of the community. So people in Sungai Lembing live in a multiracial, tight-knit community for more than 8 decades, and friendship blossomed since the mining era. So to them, every old building in this town, including those destroyed in the fire, has a story to tell. And then this is the second site, which is site B. Picture on the left is an old image of the PCCL tin mining factory. After facing an economic downturn due to the crash of global tin prices in 1980s, so PCCL ceased operation due to its high operating and maintenance costs, then eventually transforming it into an abandoned ghost town. All the mining facilities were left abandoned, throwing tens of thousands of mining workers. However, in 1987, illegal mining became rampant, causing excavation failures, destruction, and also several mining accidents. The picture on the bottom right is the current condition of the site right now. In 2004, the mining factory was dismantled for good by Sia Hock Kiang, the PCCL owner at that time. All the factory parts, utilities, and infrastructure, including locomotive steel tracks, were sold off for its high scrap metal value in order to make up for the lost profit, hence leaving the younger generation no trace of its majestic and sophisticated infrastructure. This is just a comparison, generic table comparison between site A and site B. So on 15th of January, we invited Encik Badrul Hisham, an architecture lecturer from Polytechnic Pahang, for a sharing session about his architecture research on Sungai Lembing. Due to MCO restriction and also at that time Pahang flooding issue in early January, we can't go to site. So some of our students also interviewed Encik Zakaria from Majlis Perbandaran Kuantan Sungai Lembing as part of their qualitative research methodology, where they then produced the cinematic video in Project 1 to basically visualize their research findings. So this is a part of the Project 1, which is the task is to produce a group site analysis report, cinematic video, and also site drawings, which we have to rely on Google Maps data, photos, interviews with local residents, virtual interviews with local residents, and also the museum Sungai Lembing staff. Project 1 individual task is to then produce a visual narrative that reflects their chosen research study. So the work is by Vivian Kwan Leun and the Team 3, Industrial Engineering Aesthetics. So she recreated the model of the mining facilities, and not just an aesthetic model, but she also making sure that the model works to show exactly the replica of how the mining is being processed in the past. Okay, this is Chin Kwan Wei's project, the theoretical stage. The design is actually inspired by the literature review of Pina by Dorothy Thatcher and Robert Cross, written in 1959. So that's basically the cover of a book. The book is about Nona Baker's memoir, a true story of an English woman who once lived in Pahang, and she survived World War II in the Malayan jungle and were later adopted by the Chinese guerrilla, and then basically she survived, but her brother Vin, who is the PCCL manager of Sungai Lembing, died in the Malayan jungle. So that's basically the stories of how we can sort of like create a narrative architecture into a design proposal. This is part of the Project 2 Narrative Literature Review, studying on the specific elements. So now in Project 3, the design development, which is the design development stage, requires students to design a proposal that aims to value industrial heritage, adaptive reuse or conservation. But not limited to that. So abandoned heritage buildings, if they are not conserved well, will either be ruined into further decay, or they will face multiple natural threats such as fire outbreaks or extreme flooding that are caused by climate change. So because Sungai Lembing, a town, is surrounded by beautiful natural and cultural landscape, such as Bukit Panorama, hiking trail, rainbow waterfall, the riverbank pebbles, and Sungai Pandan waterfall. So this El Dorado of the East is hoped to be revived as an ecotourism spot for its rich history and identity as an industrial heritage township. So as you can see, today we'll be reviewing the semester 6 students, where these are basically the requirements. One of the important requirements that they have to have a mixed development, and also the sizes are around 4,000 meters square. But I think if they have the capability to sort of like overlook at not just the building but the overall master plan of the site, they, not to say master plan, but more like the contextual response on how their building reacts to the area, they are allowed to do so. I guess that is all from Unit F. So because we are using a Microsoft Teams platform, all group except for UF1 need to leave this meeting after the briefing, and you may need to click on into your own meeting rooms, which is available at the top of the top row of your the table. And for the external reviewers, thank you for joining us today. We have also shared with you the online rubric assessment, and at the top page there is an industry advisory feedback to be filled up by you. So we really hope that you can do so that we can learn from it as well. I guess that's all. Our presentation for today. Is there any question that the reviewer would like to ask? If there is no question, then I think is everybody okay? So the link should be available. The link should be available. So just need to leave the meeting, and then you can just directly straight away join your session. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, all right, okay. Except for Lindin and Ben, Nur Fazli, you can stay in this room. All right.
Okay, thanks, Farah.
Okay, bye. Okay, all right, Zan, I will pass to you to manage the time and also to manage group 1, yeah? So perhaps we have Architect Lilin, Lilin is here, and then we have Fazli as well. All right, so Tan Shija, are you ready, Shija?